All right. Welcome, everybody. We are finally back to the All Things Gaming Roundtable, man. It's good to be back into the realm of all things gaming, man. It's been a little while, y'all. We slowly but surely things are coming back. We're slowly trying to get it back into the mix and everything like that. We know that there's a lot of things been coming out, a lot of different things, different games coming out. Everybody's excited about a lot of different things that um, has really just recently, like Liza P, and of course we got the beta for the First Ascendant, which is everyone is hyped and excited about as well. We got a lot of different things coming up ahead of us soon because we get ready to hit big October. So I just wanted to let everybody know, man, it's always good to see you guys, and we're gonna have a good time on the show. Before I do anything, just want to let you know if you guys cannot watch the live, it's okay. Don't panic because we always have the show posted up the next day, usually on audio. So that way, if you're on the go, if you're trying to do whatever you got to do on a daily basis, you can always tune in right here on the All Things Gaming live podcast. That being said, I definitely got to introduce a couple of wonderful folks. The first one is going to be up. Not only his home is the great pirate from the Carolinas. This guy has been a wonderful guardian out here in the Destiny game as well. And man, it's always a pleasure to get a chance to just talk Destiny with him, talk gaming, tech, anything. I definitely want to introduce to you the House of Pirates. What's going on, fam? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. Just been having a good time and some first descendant, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, looks like a good
Yeah.
game.
Oh. Hey, yes it is. Well, how you been feeling about it, man?
Um, I'm enjoying it. I don't have any complaints. Um, it is a beta, so they're doing a lot of the good testing on it. They're doing updates daily, so I have no complaints. I like it. It's the best of every game that I really like. Warframe, Destiny, Division, um, all rolled up into one. And the best thing is when
Hmm.
you craft stuff, you don't have to spend real money on it.
Facts. I definitely agree with that. And that's the thing I like about the Krampus. It's just it's beautiful, man. The game is so rewarding, man. And we definitely gonna get to all the nitty gritty stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to just to let you know, man. I'm having a good time in it, and I know you've been having a good time. You've been streaming it just like I have. Been
Oh
going
yeah.
hard in the paint. So yeah, we definitely gonna get to that. But I do have another guardian and streamer friend that I definitely want to introduce. As this guy, I've seen this guy. Not only he's a wonderful supporter, he's always either fighting to become the best Elder Ring guy that he can be, or he's living it up. Destiny, whatever it is, this guy is fantastic. Great friend, great streamer. Definitely want to introduce to you guys Jareth Dark Heart. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's
Hey,
been going on with you out here in these
ah, you
gaming?
know, yeah, gaming, gaming and working. The everyday grind. Do my 9 to 5 and then find time. But like you said, I'm just always trying to grind it out. Whether it's Destiny, Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy, anything. Like I'm trying to get to the good stuff
Yes,
with as little
absolutely.
time as I have.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, man. I've been seeing you've been grinding hard, man, doing your thing. Whether it's just playing some casual Destiny or on Elden Ring, you always doing your thing, man. It's always
Yep.
cool. So I definitely want to ask you fellas, first off, I want to start with you, Pirate. Tell me a little bit about your gaming history, man. When did all this revolutionary gaming experience come from?
Um, I don't know. I think so. I actually started gaming in 1974 or
Okay,
75.
okay.
With Atari Pong. You know, the old little console had two dials on it with four
Mm-hmm.
little games built in. But I think it really hit for me early 90s. Coworkers
Mm-hmm.
got into playing Leisure Suit Larry and Diablo, and they got me into it. And then
Hey.
it just took off from there. And I'm 52, so it's been a long time with a controller in my hand, keyboard in the hand. Um,
A legend.
so just gaming, it's what gives me the break from the stress of reality. When I went through my divorce, my online gaming friends were what held me together.
There you go.
Like you can't go through that kind of stress and not have an outlet. And so gaming was there for me.
Mm-hmm. You have to
So,
have that, man.
yep, you have to get that break.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, this game, not a gaming, man. It brings people together, man.
Mm-hmm.
People always, we always go through different things, throughout, our lives, and just being able to pick up that controller and just be immersed in these worlds, man. I think that's just one of the most sensational things, uh, in life today, And since even in the beginning when it first started, it's just amazing, man. I just love gaming. It's my deal.
Yep, me too.
Uh,
Like I had my best friend, one of my best friends ever, on gaming with me today for a little bit, and our gaming time has lessened because he now has kids that are younger, so he has to take care of them, of course. But we get together, and I can go to that guy for with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I can call him up in the middle of the night and be like, "Man, I need a chat." But never met in person. But we've been
mm,
gaming together for over a decade.
wow. I see friends, man. I'm telling you,
Yep.
you may not meet them all the time, but hey, man, when they're there, they feel like family, man. And that's the good thing about that.
Yep.
So, Darkheart, I do want to ask you the same thing too, man. How did you get into gaming? What's that history like?
Oh man. Probably coming up on about 30 years of gaming at this point. I remember, when I was a kid, early 90s, go to my cousin's house and he had all the systems at the time, so like, the NES, the SNES, and then finally one day like my dad brought home an NES. Even though
Hey,
SNES was out, that's what we could get, but it was all
right.
good. I did that Duck Hunt Super Mario combo like over and over again, time and time again. But it just became like an everyday thing. If I
Hmm.
didn't have homework to do, I was on a game. Everything all the way through up the '90s. The Nintendo 64, SNES, and
Hmm.
the NES, and then let's see, my mom one time, I was like in middle school, and she Christmas time came around and I opened up a gift and it was an Xbox, and then we opened up another one and it was the PS2, and like it just went from there, and then we actually started hopping into online gaming. My mom gamed too, and we started out with like EverQuest and Star Wars Galaxies, and that started like my online gaming, and that's kind of what I've stuck to for the most part since, like just a ton of MMOs all the way
Hmm.
from like early 2000s to today. I mean, like when I was streaming earlier this week, I was playing Elder Scrolls Online. Sometimes I do Final Fantasy. Like I just skip around between games, and Destiny 2 was probably my first like FPS because like I was
Yeah.
never good at them in the first place, and then like Destiny 2 just hit. You know, it hit that spot. I
Mm.
just kept going at it and at it and at it until like I just got good enough to do the hard stuff that I like to do on the game.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah,
all of us.
man. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that. Salute to Neo X90, man. What's going on, fam? I'm glad to see you in here, man. Always a pleasure to see you in here doing your thing. Welcome in. And yeah, I definitely agree, man. I was MMOs and RPGs. My first RPG game for me was definitely Mario. If anybody knows, you already know what I'm about to say. Is
Mhm.
Mario RPG, Mario: The Legend of Seven Stars, right? That was my
Mhm.
first RPG, one of the greatest Mario games of all time. Still love it. Like right now, I'm excited for November because we get the remake of it. So it's been so many years, so I'm definitely excited for that, man. It takes me back, and I know you are excited for the Final Fantasy remake uh sequel, which is the new one that's getting ready to come out.
Rebirth. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Rebirth. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just gotta get a PS5, and then I can get on it. I the reason I have a PS4 was so I could play a remake.
Yes,
Really
yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
that and Ghost of Tsushima, like those were like back to back, and I was like, yo,
Yes.
we got to get a PS4.
Right.
Yeah, man. I love Ghost of Tsushima, man. It was just so good. So the game was beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's games and then there's an experience. Those are two
Mm-hmm.
different things when you playing.
Hmm.
And that right there, it captured the essence of just the feudal Japan and the whole deal with, Genghis Khan and all those things. Like that whole story. It's just the emotional of the characters, especially Jin, man. That was just, you felt like you were him and going through his
Mm-hmm.
whole experience the entire time, man. It's a beautiful game, man.
It was
That's
so
a 10 out
difficult
of
to put
10.
it down. It was so difficult to
Yes.
put it down once you were done.
Yes. So hard to put it down, man, because it's like, oh man, I just want more. Land is so beautiful, man. That game came out at the right time. It really did, man.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh man, I can't wait because apparently they're supposed to be doing a sequel to it. But
That's the
man,
rumors. Yep.
I
man,
could see
I
that
can't wait.
easily.
Yeah, the way it ended, and even the DLC, it hit, it hit really
Mm-hmm.
well. I really enjoyed that game, man. I can't wait for the next one. Same thing. Final Fantasy VII remake when that came out, boom, blew my mind.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I finished that game with just like, what do I do with my life now? So,
I mean, I'm a PC and Xbox person, and I'm like, yo, if you need a reason to get a PlayStation, those are two reasons why.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely with you on that, man. I'm definitely with you. I do want to talk to you guys too. I definitely want to get a little topic. So recently, of course, we had the state of play, of course, that happened, and we also had the Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
showcase. They both happened in the same day. I did post I posted a panel, a little poll to see who was the better show, who had the better show, who came out on top, and was interesting was it was actually tied. The poll was actually tied. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I was like, wow,
Which is
you
it's
know,
fair though because both
Mm-hmm.
companies showcased their strongest efforts that are coming.
yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
Spider-Man 2 was obviously going to be the headline of that show because
absolutely,
that's like Insomniac does great. And you're talking about one of the best superhero games we've seen.
yeah,
And when like my boys, like one of the things that I started streaming because my all my kids stream. All my kids play video games. So it's instead of having
hmm
a memory of a picture of me sitting at a game, it's a video that they can go back and watch years from now and be like, "That's my dad."
hmm
But
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
they like when I first got Spider Man, they were like, "Is it good?" And they started playing it, and my 13-year-old is actually out right now playing Spider-Man Miles Morales to warm
Mm-hmm.
up and get back in the feel of the game
oh
just
yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
Spider-Man 2. And
yep,
Nintendo, obviously, everything
hmm
Nintendo does,
Mm-hmm.
you can't help but
banger,
be impressed. And it doesn't matter if it's Mario Brothers, the original, or
hmm
Mario Kart or Mario Wonder. It doesn't matter. Everything they do
yeah.
is on point. People say, "Oh,
Did
it's
you see
not
that Peach
powerful. It
game?
doesn't all that." Hmm?
Did you see that Peach game? That Peach game looked really
Yes.
good. It looks
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
it does. And then Nintendo absolutely has a spot for like everyone because like when it's like where did I start gaming? I'm not the only one. If for a lot of people, it's Nintendo, and they
Yeah.
just come out with the same products, but they hit. They're
They deliver.
hits. They're gonna keep going and going and going.
Mhm.
And it's always something new.
And I feel like they're on a new cadence, just like 90 X just said it in the chat. He said with Sony, it's a Final Fantasy that I'm more into right now. He said with Nintendo, it's Mario since no DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, that fire is put to the side unless HD ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. He said he said I'm mad as hell no F-Zero GX. Hey, listen, I do understand that. Me too. I was kind of hurt when I saw the 99. I was like, I mean, it was gonna be fun, but I was really hoping for that sequel of GX or something like that. I was hoping. I was like,
Yeah.
please, we need that. GX was so good, man, so good. Yeah, but I definitely agree with all of you guys because at the end of the day, I feel like Nintendo is changing their cadence a little bit. If we notice, especially what the past two, I would say the two, past three previous uh directs that's came out, they've been remastering stuff, remaking stuff. They've been on board with the okay, we're gonna dust off some of these classic titles, you know, and just like recently, they threw at us the Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remaster. Hey, listen, I've been waiting for that forever as well. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, it's been so
I mean,
long.
it's all happening now because I've had this discussion with my wife because it's like, what's with all the remasters and the remakes? And it's like, because all the people our age are in the gaming industry now, and it's like,
Yeah,
I love this game. What if we could make it better? And they do.
Well, to me, it's kind of like old school new.
yes,
So you're
absolutely.
taking even because I used to be a hardcore COD player, 10, 12, 20 hours a day. It didn't matter. And like, why are they? Everybody's like, why are they going back to Modern Warfare 2? Why are they going back to Modern Warfare 3? Why? Because they're some of the top CODs that ever came out.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So why not? They're going to go back. And everybody's like, well, they need to bring up new stuff. Well, all of us guys that put money into games, we like the old stuff. So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even 90X said he said he's hyped about the 1,000 Year Door remake, and he also was saying about the just Black Ops was one of them. And, it's definitely one of those ones. Salute to Baby Mala for joining in. Salute to you, darling. Appreciate you. And yeah, so like that is one of those things that's like, yeah, Black Ops was the hit along with the Modern Warfare. Of course,
Yeah.
they're going to do a remake because that's one of those things that's like everyone loves it. It's beloved to everybody. They're going
And
to
then
do.
even if it's not your thing, you can't deny how popular it was and how big it was.
Right.
Yes.
Well, go back. Jason Blundell left Treyarch. He was the king of zombies for them.
That's true.
And
Yep, he did.
arguably, in some of the later ones, zombies overtook the multiplayer experience. And I'm
Sure
a
did.
zombies guy. My 14-year-old, my 13-year-old, they sit down and they do zombie Easter eggs because they watched me as they grew up, and now they want to take part in them. And Blundell went and started his own design company, and then now he's left. There's no word of where he's going that I know of, but I will say the trailer for zombies in this year's COD iteration has fingerprints of Blundell on it.
Yeah, it does.
And it looks really Jason-ish. I'm hoping if he does come back, I hope that there's a Zombies Chronicle 2 and they bring back Mob of the Dead because I'm a history guy, so I love like Alcatraz and stuff like that. Give us Mob of the Dead and Buried. I don't care. Put those two on a disc. It's mine all day.
Yeah. Man, that'd be a classic for sure. And that's the thing, man. I'm glad that they're. It's like the industry is going in a better, like you said, it's going in a great direction when it comes to just what they see as moneymaker. They're like, okay, we got to get back to making bangers again. How can we do that? Oh, hey, let's take these classics, let's make them remakes of things that they really liked, and especially with the Modern Warfare series, they was able to do and tweak a couple of things that they weren't able to do when they put the original out.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course a lot
Mm.
of people was upset with number three just a little bit because of how, especially how the story and stuff like that happened. So they was like, okay, we're gonna change ship. We're gonna do a little bit of different things, to kind of shift it up so that way at least we still can keep the engagement. If we want to make a Modern Warfare 4, we have the ability to do that. We have the
Right.
ability to restart into something new. Um, uh, Walmart, what's going on, man? I appreciate you for joining. He says,
That's my wife.
okay, okay. She says, how you doing? She says, I think Nintendo likes to be in control of its media, and if they don't keep up with these titles, they'll lose the powerhouse effects they are now. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely true. Absolutely,
They
I agree.
have they have what works.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same titles, but like it
Mhm.
works. You're talking Mario, you're talking Pokemon. Like these are big things, and they can keep coming up with new stuff for it. So, I
Right,
mean, they're
right.
sticking to their guns, and they do kind of have to, because when you think of Nintendo, you think
Hmm.
Zelda, you think Pokemon, you think Mario, you think Sonic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they got definitely sticking to their guns is the smart idea, since that's what you're going to relate to the product.
Absolutely. And I would even say this. Just think about it, because I think a lot of people also is missing this is because Nintendo, yes, Nintendo definitely got to stay on their cadence, but they're starting to do a little bit more now. And
Oh yeah,
especially
they
with
Mm-hmm.
are.
those big bucks that flew from that movie that came out. They're doing way more
Mm-hmm.
than they have. We're seeing so much Mario content that we haven't seen like that in
Hmm.
years. And this
Mm-hmm.
is the testament to, okay, we know what we're capable of doing. We're able to push the needle more. Okay, we're gonna
Right.
give you the whole classic Metal Solid package deal. I know you guys
Hmm.
been waiting for that. We're giving you one of those. Okay, we're gonna give you not two, but we're giving you four Mario games coming out in the
Mm-hmm.
same year, back to back.
Hmm.
That's crazy. We have never seen that ever happen ever. And now we're
There's
also talking about the Switch 2 next year after the fiscal year of March 2024. That it's just a lot happening with them right now.
there's
And
there's certain
oh, what was
things
you
in
gonna
the gaming industry that print money,
say?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's undeniable.
absolutely.
Mario is the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
There's no franchise that prints money the way Call of Duty and Mario does. And Mario, like, it has fans
Yeah.
from like 60, 70 all the way down to like 5, 6, 7 year olds.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yes, that's a fact. Everyone loves Mario. Everyone's grown up with Mario. And that's one of those franchises. Just like I remember, I was having one of my friends was talking about. I don't know if Mario is going to break the box office with the Mario movie. I said, don't you dare count that out. I know,
Mm-mm.
I guarantee it's going to do it, and it did that and more. So I was just like, yeah,
Yep.
it's a growing for it. That
Mm-hmm.
every Mario's beloved. Everybody can relate to Mario because everyone grew up with them. So that was a no brainer. I knew that was going to happen. Walmart says Mario outdoes Call of Duty just because of the amount of merchandising. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
true. It's been around longer, and it's everyone can relate to it for sure.
It's a staple.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
literally, it is the staple of gaming for sure. And to think about it too, I know a lot of some people are definitely upset about the F-Zero thing. I said hold your horses because this is the first stepping stone. We haven't seen in them talk about F-Zero since way back in the GameCube. That's a long time ago.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And for us to get this, that means that there's something cooking
Yep.
behind the scenes that we don't know about. They're just trying to get the hype back for the game. Again, get people more interested into the F-Zero franchise because it's been so long. So don't be surprised that you might see something coming down the pipeline. Hey, the Switch 2, we got a brand new F-Zero coming out this year.
Right.
You know, that's why I was telling people, I said, hold your horses. If you're a Donkey Kong fan, hold your horses. If you're F-Zero, you're waiting for that Metroid, the next Metroid, hey, it's coming. You just wait. They have surprised us a lot this year. So I wouldn't be surprised. We don't even know how far these guys really are. We really don't. I mean, just every time they put out a direct, boom, 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 something. Well, hey, I didn't see this coming.
Yep.
So Nintendo's on the roll, man. They on the roll, especially
they are right
this
now.
year.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I would say same thing. Sega's building its empire as well. It's trying to get back. Sonic is this is the most content I've ever seen Sonic put out in a long time. He's back. You know, the way he's supposed to have been. And I think that's a great testament to not only the new management at Sega, their vision of saying, hey, look, we want to get Sonic back to where he was. We've been slipping, we've been frauding for too long. We got successful 2 Sonic movies. We're knocking out, like I said, it's that movie, the movie bucks be moving, man.
It is.
Well, even go back a little different. Pac-Man, when Pixels came out, then all of a sudden you saw like Pac-Man 256 take off. And they're only like $1 or like $2 in the PlayStation Store, but what brought it back? That movie. You see that giant Pac-Man pixel going chomping across the screen. Everybody's like, oh man, I want to go back and play this thing again.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true. And that's the thing that I really love about them starting to go into the movie business, because they're really dusting off for the entire masses to see, hey, look, here's this game. Here's that we all knew. You guys forgot about it, but he's back now. It's in the movie, you know, and everyone's going to see it and making tickets. Shoot, they're capitalizing on that. Hey, let's get this merchandise out. Let's go ahead and get a new game out. You know, continue to build up the hype. And like I said, for right now, we already hyped for the second Mario movie. We're already hyped. Look at all the stuff we're getting already. We're already ready for it. You know, and not to talk about just the whole we know the game show is coming up. We know that the game of the year, it's going to be hot this year, man. There's a lot riding. You know, because we got Spider-Man coming out. We already got Starfield already out. That was a big success in itself.
This was a hell of a year for gaming. This was a hell of a year for gamers. Like I've said it on my own stream several times. It's like my backlog is filled up with so many games that I don't even own yet because there's so much going on.
Well, like it started out hot. You had Hogwarts come out, and the controversy pushed that game. But it's a really good game.
Yes.
And then we moved right on in, and like, I hate to say it because everybody knows I'm a Destiny guy, I'm a Diablo guy. Then Diablo hits, but then Final Fantasy hits. Then Baldur's Gate 3. Don't sleep on that game. Baldur's Gate 3 is sneaky, and it's really good.
It's standard, man. It's setting the standard. And then here enter Starfield. Big hit.
That has been my obsession. That has been my obsession for the past couple weeks. In fact, once we're done tonight, I'm getting on to work on an outpost.
I'm telling you, man, it's that, and then of course, like I said, Nintendo Mario Wonder is coming down. Sonic Superstars is coming out. It's going to be a great classic. And behind Mario Wonder is the Legend of Seven Stars remake. That's a big game that's been beloved. People can't wait to jump into that. We got Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk expansion.
Yeah.
People
oh my god.
Talking crazy, like, it's great, man. You know, that's coming.
I'm trying to find space to re-download it.
It's too much. It's so much, man. We got Liza P. We got Alan Wake 2. That's coming out. That's going to be pretty cool. They've definitely done a lot of insight with that, and that's going to be a really good game.
Pushing
what do
down
we
the
have?
road, you've got the Elden Ring DLC coming.
Yep,
Yeah.
Tree, absolutely. We got that. That's coming down the road. Armor Core came out, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we get so far? Okay, yeah. Well, of course, Breath of the Wild. We can't forget about that. Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
Really well received game. That's definitely
I've
going to
been
be a nominee.
I was
You
looking
know.
forward to Cyberpunk. Like the day one raid team I was on for Crota's End. One of the members of our team, she's the UI UX producer for Cyberpunk.
Really?
So yeah, and so like every time Cyberpunk stuff comes out, and I'm like, y'all are killing it. Y'all are starting to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with the game, even with all the bugs, and y'all are
Right.
just putting more and more and more in.
Hey man, I would love if you could get her on the show, man. At some point, we gotta get on the show. At least after it releases, you know.
Right, yeah, for sure. Like I could definitely get you in touch.
Oh man, that'd be great, man. I would love to. I have a lot of list of questions that I would love to ask.
She's a Destiny 2 streamer.
That's dope, man. That's amazing. See, that's
awesome.
the thing about it, man. You just don't know who. You just like, oh, it's a Destiny streamer, but hey, I also developed at this game.
Right.
Like people appreciate each other's
Mhm.
games, man. They really do, and it's a testament to just their colleagues as well.
Mhm.
You know, with these
Oh,
games,
for sure.
you know. But yeah, we have a lot of games coming out. A lot of different things is happening, man. It's happening so fast, man. And that's the thing. It's like I was asking one of my buddies. I said, "Man, do you have enough money accumulated to purchase all these games? And do you have enough time to
Hell
even
no.
play?"
I think the money less of an issue than the time.
There's no time, man. And then look at February. We haven't even got to December yet.
Right.
Look at February. We got the Final Shape. We got the First Descendant. We got Hellbreakers 2. That's gonna be really good.
X
What else?
Defiant
What
is
else?
coming.
X Defiant is gonna be out. February is gonna be a huge launch window, literally.
I mean,
The Peach game.
2024 is going
It's
to be
shaping
like
up
even.
to be bigger than this year.
I think so too.
It's starting. Yeah, the beginning of the year is already looking super impressive. Like even Final Fantasy 14 came out with like their
Yeah.
next one, and it's like y'all still going?
Oh, and don't forget, Final Fantasy 7 comes out in February. How are
Yeah.
we gonna play all of those games in February when we got to prepare for Final Shape? You know we're gonna be
Mhm.
digging into that.
My calendar's full.
It's too much, man. It's a lot to stream. We're gonna be up all night. Just prepare, man.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Even with the Destiny 2 Hunter logo in my own logo, it's like you ain't playing Destiny. It's like there's too much going on. Too
Right,
much.
right. And the thing is, like, even for me, I'm gonna be sad, but I'm gonna be glad too that the Final Shape is finally coming in, finally the end of the saga, because that way at least it'll alleviate some of the time we can utilize playing all these other stuff, like really
Right.
diving into our catalogs.
I'm going to be
kinda
curious to see how episodes work out with that annual pass.
Yeah,
Like
I'm definitely
how much
curious.
how much time do I need to sink in compared to what I have in the past like 4 years that I've been playing Destiny 2?
Yeah,
Am
Exactly.
I going to be able to take breaks, or are we going to keep going? Like, because like right now it's a go 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 go.
it's so go-ish right now, man. It really is, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this little bit of time off so I can play First Descendant because I've been looking forward to this game. So I was just like, okay, let me take some time off and just start streaming because I know this is gonna be a big game. It feels good. The gameplay feels great. Okay, let me go and dive in here. Because I already know. I was like, that's coming out in February too. So I mean, the good thing is when we're in the drought before the 26th that it comes out.
Mhm.
We can play those things right up until then, At least.
I mean, after the final shapes, you know, like I'll probably finish the legendary campaign with within like a couple days, and then
Yeah.
we're waiting for the raid race, which of course I'm going to be jumping into, and then
Absolutely.
I could definitely see First Descendant being kind of those like one of those break games that I can play just casually. There's a lot going on in it, but I don't feel a need to rush it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was feeling. I don't have to rush it. I can just jump back in. Everything's gonna be good. Like people are supporting this game, man. People are really out supporting this. I've seen people already buying cosmetics. They're invested, and that's a good thing to see. It's really good to see that. You
Well,
know,
I've
I
already
think
planned out what characters I want to main, everything.
exactly. I think
what
my
build you
thing
trying to
is
do?
the companies like so Ubisoft, of course, is doing X Defiant. If you're out
Yeah.
there for those betas and everything, it wasn't just the devs sitting back and being okay. We're gonna watch Apathy stream this because he's a big COD guy, or we're gonna get
Right.
feedback from some of these Destiny guys. They were in the streams, listening
Yes.
to the community, putting it out. Hey, dev team here. What do you guys see that you like? What do you don't like? What do you think we could improve on? And being out front. And for so long, it wasn't just like the dev teams and the community managers like weren't communicating on any game. And now you've got X Defiant, you got Ubisoft guys in the streams being like, okay, we're seeing what you guys are seeing. What else are we missing here? You've got like, if you go to Nacon or Nexon and you go and look at First Descendants, there's so much communication running down that page. It's like, okay, this is what we're seeing. This is what the patch is going to be. And the patch is done. The patch is done. This is what we got corrected. This is what we still have to work on. That level of communication builds a trust with your base. And if you don't have that base, because what's one of the biggest complaints we as Destiny players said for a while? Are you listening to us?
Yep. That is a fact. You're nailing it, man. You're nailing about that. Because I mean, same thing. I've been seeing the devs in the paint asking what's going on. They're showing you, hey, we're patching this. We already did the patch. Thanks for the feedback. We're trying to get involved into this because they're invested in this game and they want to make sure that this game is at the top level because they already know coming in.
They're trying to put in the stuff that makes sense, like as soon as possible.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like they're trying. They want to be. They've seen Diablo come out. They've seen all of these different things, and it's their time to shine. And they don't want to. They don't want to have a bad first impression, and they really are working hard with it. They put that patch out really, really fast. Hey, okay, we'll work on it. We're here. You know, I don't know if these guys are doing overtime or not, but man, they're on it. They're on it hard, and that's the type of communication that I hope that Bungie starts to see and say, okay, you know, because we saw when who was it, Joe? When Joe came on and was doing that was the beginning of that. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit more communication here. You know, more personal.
It's slowly progressing. It is slowly progressing.
Absolutely. Shout out to Juggling Chaos and everybody else who's joining the stream. Welcome. We're having some great discussions on the All Things Gaming podcast. Appreciate you guys. It's always a pleasure to see all of you guys out here listening and tuning in. But yeah,
Chaos is my Destiny. He's one of my dungeon help guys that helps me on day ones, and he's been running First Descendants with me. And we've been bouncing ideas off each other because, as gamers, like, I can jump in either one of y'all's streams and be like, hey, how you feeling about this? And the conversation kicks off. And that's what, for me, is fun because, like, Chaos and I have been playing at night, and he's saying, like, this is something I think that is minor, but they might look at.
Yeah. Absolutely. Salute to Chaos and all of you guys, man. We gotta give you a nice warm welcome. Salute to y'all. You guys are amazing. Yeah, so I love it, man. I love to see everybody always in here, always people always supporting and supporting your streamers, your community. Man, so many great people, man, out here that really putting the pedal to the metal and hanging out and just having conversations. I love conversations. As you know, Pirate and
Oh
Dark,
yeah.
you already know. I love the
Mm-hmm.
conversations. Yeah, we
Yep.
can we what we gonna talk about today, you know. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about that. It really is, man. I love that. But yeah, you guys are nailing it on the head, you know, when it comes to communication. I love to see it, especially with the new boys on the block coming in and really saying, "Hey, look, we're ready, we're hungry, we want to. We give us all the feedback, whatever you guys have, give it to us. We're gonna go ahead and start working on it
And
because
especially as streamers, like,
yeah,
people come into our chats asking what we think and what we're seeing. So like we are keeping an eye out for all this stuff going on,
hmm
and talking about the effects of the how much communication is happening and what are you seeing. Oh, I've saw this, and like you said, it could be something minor, but it's like we can but like
exactly.
Mhm.
we are keeping an eye out for this, and we're the ones getting asked.
Mhm.
Exactly, and I love that. I love that. You know, they're trying to make a way for everybody to have a smooth run, man. And that's what it's about, having a smooth run where you know your game is coming out. And the good thing is, I'm glad that they put this beta out. They changed a lot since the alpha. They changed a
Mhm.
lot of things since
Oh,
the alpha.
really?
Yeah. So they really I can't wait to see what the finished product is because they have really been on it. You know, like just the guns, the mods. You can put everything on there, and you just
Hmm.
mods on top of mods. It's
Mhm.
really cool, man.
It's customization craziness.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
hmm And there's certain mods that change your ability that I've
Mhm.
seen
Yeah.
too. It's like
I was
wow.
yeah, I picked up a couple of those. I'm like, what? Like this does what now?
Mhm.
Right.
I didn't know this was in here.
Yeah, and I love that. I really love that. And I love how like just like the blueberries can literally just jump into your mission. They can just come into your mission and help you. I really
Hmm.
love the how they made the server where it's not like Destiny where they disappear after you get to a certain part. No, they're there.
Mhm.
They're there with you. I really
Mm,
like
yep.
that. You know, the movement is great. Every descendant is unique from each other. You know,
Mhm.
they have their strengths, their weaknesses, and that's the cool thing about
Even if two are like dot damagers, like it's still completely different play style because like the two characters I've been looking at are both dot, but like it's completely different.
it.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, so different. Especially I love playing with Ajax the Titan. That I was
I
calling him.
bet.
Mhm.
I bet.
Yeah, that's my guy right there, man. I love him. Then I started playing with Bunny. Bunny is really really quick, smooth. She can be squishy at times, but if you build her up right, you her AOE is really good. I really love her attacks and her moves.
I haven't
Um,
unlocked a lot, but like I've been keeping an eye on like Blair because
Mhm.
I
yes,
always gotta have something to fill up my space cowboy fantasy that's always happening.
Right.
yep, you gotta
I'm
have
like,
that,
this is
man.
the dude. I'm like, this is the dude. I'm going through the characters and I'm like, oh, he's badass.
I
Right.
gotta unlock him immediately.
I finished
Yes.
I finished Lepic this morning and finished the story, and I'm like, man, who am I moving on to next? And
Yeah.
just scrolling through, it's like, okay, now which one? Like, I need to sit here and write down a list. Who am I going to play next?
Yeah.
hmm And that's exactly what I'm doing. So okay, let me level up her. Let me level up him. It's so many people. It's so many. And they did say too that they're going to be adding more later on
Mm-hmm.
throughout the game. So that this is
Well, I
just
mean,
the
you
base
saw the
game
three
version.
ultimate ones. I saw the three ultimate ones in there,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh god, there's gonna be more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't even have to be told that. It was like there's gonna be more. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
There are plans.
for you guys, how do you feel? How did you feel like just emerging in the game? Like when you first got a chance to really play it, you've been through the tutorial, which was great. It was good that they did a tutorial in the beginning. How did you feel? Did you feel that sense of like, oh man, I'm in a new game. This feels great. A new looter shooter type game. How did you feel like overall about it?
Overall, I mean, like it's just been great gameplay. You know, I still got a ton to explore, but just the little bit
Mhm.
I've done has been super impressive. Like and I'm still getting a hang of all the controls. Like I'll hit the wrong
Yeah.
button all the time, but you know, once I got it figured out, it's like okay, this feels good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the places look great. I only got stuck on one mission, and it's like, man, it'd be great if everybody in the area would show up right now. But now they're
Right.
AFK. But I'm like, okay, we'll hold off on that mission. Like some of the missions do get really
Yeah,
intense.
that's true.
I've been watching the boss fights too, and like you know, they're doing hard mode on the bosses, and
Yeah.
it's like that dude's bar is not moving,
Yeah,
but
bro.
the boss looks so sick.
Right.
The one
I
that I
did that
just
one.
did, the
Which one did
big
you
one that
do?
shoots the poison, like he'll lay out the 4 trees of green. That
Oh
dude,
no.
like instantly, like it's like, okay, I got to break this down, but at the same time, he's stomping on me while I'm trying to break this thing to get
Oh
it
my
back to
god.
DPS, and it's like, okay, I need better blueberries that can put some DPS on this dude. But
Mm-hmm.
the difficulty's there, the fun is there,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, okay, I'm a Division guy, I like this. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Warframe guy, I like this. I'm a
Yep.
Destiny
Yep.
guy, I like this. Like I said at the beginning, everything is rolled into that game.
Yeah, literally. It's
Like it's
something for
like,
everybody.
yeah. And I really feel like that's a selling point for them. It's like, okay, you like this game?
Yeah,
Give us a try because it's here. We got you.
it's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, that's a fact. You can't, if you, like you were saying, if you're either one of those game genres, if you was an Outriders guy at the time, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna like
Mm-hmm.
this. You know, if you was an Anthem guy and you missed Anthem, you're gonna like this. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of those. It's one of those ones. It feels so good to jump in because it gives us a piece of everything, and we haven't seen a game
That's,
like that.
so you caught me wearing my Anthem shirt the other day, huh? I actually was on stream. I was wearing my Anthem shirt.
I
I
love
love
that
that
game.
game.
So
It
good.
had so much potential that got squandered.
Well,
I know.
I go
So
back and
sad.
I blame EA because you saw it
Mm-hmm.
with You've seen it with Battlefields. Their launches are bad,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then they make it better. Well, this Battlefield 2042, they're like, hey, we brought in a new design lead, a new game lead, and he's like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you were promised, but I'm going to make a promise that we're going to make this game better. Anthem
Yeah.
never had a guy that could step in and do that. He was like,
No.
Nope.
the community guy was like, we don't know where we're at in this game. Okay, well, there goes half your community with that one statement.
I
The
hate that.
Anthem downward spiral was actually what got me into Destiny.
Really?
Like right when it was starting to look like that nothing was going to happen with the game. Like they had the
Mhm.
team put together to do the 2.0, that never happened. And as
Yeah.
it was starting to decline, that was when Destiny was like, yo, we're free to play. And I was like, well, it's kind of like Anthem. I'll give it a go. And now I've been sucked in for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I've been sucked into Destiny for 10 years, man. It's just crazy, man.
Most of the people I teach raids, GMs, and dungeons to, they're surprised I didn't start playing until Shadowkeep. They're like, no way.
Yeah, that's
There's no
crazy.
way. And
You're
I'm
good
like,
at it.
no, I started playing in Shadowkeep, man, and I just honed the craft.
Mm-hmm.
I came in and got told I sucked a million times before I got as good as I did. It took a while,
Mm-hmm.
but like I was dedicated and invested into it monetarily and time wise. So you know, I
Earned your
just
stripes.
kept at it. Yeah.
And that's the thing about that, man. You could come in a blueberry, and you get out there and you shine, man. And that's the good thing about that because of your experience. and dealing with
Mhm.
games like that on that
Mhm.
difficulty. So you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
can come in here and play it. And that's the thing. That's the magic about the First Ascendant. If you walked all kind, you could have been a blueberry in Destiny. You could have been a blueberry in Warframe. You could have been, just coming stepping in to Outriders or whatever may have you. This has both all of those feels to it
Yeah.
that make it special. And you're like, oh, I'm coming into a new player in the game, and this feels like everything. It's
Mhm.
that's the thing that this game really this game has to me. I definitely feel like this game has the potential to continue on,
Mhm.
and not die out like all the other ones have. This has a really strong push on it, and it feels good. They're really investing in this game, you know.
I
And
mean,
we
when you were in my chat the other day, like I was talking about how much games borrow from each other, and
Mhm.
it works.
Mhm.
It works. I
It
mean,
does.
this is very well known in the industry. They borrow stuff, and like you said, you got your Warframe and your Destiny, and you name it in First Ascendant.
Yeah.
It's putting it all together and in a very good way.
Mhm.
hmm The minute I play Ajax, Titan Barricade, all of these things,
Mhm.
I was like,
I saw
yeah, let's go.
I was watching you play, and I was like, bro, is that a Titan?
Yeah.
And there's the other one that runs around with like he's holding the void shield
Yeah.
and just rolling around, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm gonna know, and I have to run up to the person and hit R3, on the PlayStation, so it
hmm
zooms around and I can figure out what character they are. Okay, that's on the list.
I
It
mean,
feels
Everything
I
else,
was
familiar.
I was playing, when you dropped in, I was playing Elder Scrolls Online the other day,
Yeah.
and in a couple expansions ago, they came out with like an in-game card game, and I jumped
hmm
into it, and it explained the rules, and I was like, this is Gwent
mm-hmm.
from The Witcher. It's just ESO art style. Like, this is Gwent.
Literally. It's like,
You
wow.
know, the borrowing comes up good for and even the industries, they do talk about, they're like, hell yeah, we thought this was great, and we decided to put a version of it in our game, as long as it's not like
hmm
blatant. Like, I forgot what the game was called, but it was like they came out with the artwork, and it was like, that is straight up a pyramid ship. Get real, dude. Like, you stole that. You straight up stole
You
that.
stole
Get
that.
that off there.
Like, what are you
And they
doing?
were, yeah, it was like, no, you like, there was no hiding it. It was like, that is straight up a pyramid ship. Come on, guys. And they're like, oh, they're like, we see the comparison, and I was like, there was no comparison. It was straight up a pyramid ship.
They just threw that in there. Oh, let me make this design exactly. They
This
might
is
not
cool.
notice. Let's just copy and paste that right there.
It was exact copy and paste. I was like, no way.
Like, come on, y'all.
Like, that's just
You gonna do that?
blatant.
You're
At least,
really not hiding it.
at least take the glowy lines out of it, man.
Right.
Right.
Then I can
Right.
then I can be like, oh, they took that from Destiny, but it's whatever. But no, it was exactly the same.
It literally. And the thing about, I think, what do you guys think that Outriders messed up on? The reason why they died out. Do you think because of the approach that they took is the reason why they didn't succeed? What do you guys think?
I think it was the bullet spongy enemies. Even if you were playing on like easy mode, they were too spongy. Like, why do I want to waste my time on easy mode for an hour to do one mission?
Right.
Right.
Especially if I've like mastered the game. Why would I want to do that?
Right.
I had several friends that are like, you got to come try out Outriders, and I do my usual thing when a game's coming out. I watch it. I do my own research on it. Like, I go to their web pages to see if I can find any wikis on it. And I'm watching my friends play it, and they're doing the same mission for like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, are you on very hard? They're like, dude, this is normal. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be hopping into this. No.
Yeah, and it get kind of annoying when you're dying all the time. Yeah, you're leveling up, but it's like you're dying every time because you get to a certain point where you're just like, oh my goodness, bro, this mission is just really getting to me.
I'm watching my friend blow a whole clip into a guy on normal mode, and it didn't even take out 25% of the health or a shield.
Right.
Like, what was going on here? So like I just never even dipped my toes into it because I was like this wouldn't be worth my time. I'm not asking to be completely overpowered, but like this is literally a waste of time.
Well,
Yeah.
come forward. Look at Ghost of the Deep. What's the complaint about Ghost of the Deep? It's not the mechanics.
The
It's the
every time I
it's the
take a new
health of the
person in,
boss.
every time I take a new
Yeah.
person in, it is a 6-7 phase fight.
Yep.
Right.
But
Facts.
whenever I start it, I'm like, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And every
Yeah,
Ghost of the Deep run I've done has had a new person, and I'm like, because I'm like, yo, I just want to get Ghost of the Deep done so I can get my navigator, hopefully. And then it's like, oh, I've never done Ghost of the Deep, and I'm like, we're gonna be here a while. All right.
Yep. Plan for a trip.
yeah, it's crazy.
But I love the dungeon. They just need to
Mm-hmm.
dump the boss's HP down to dungeon level, not
Yeah,
raid.
because he's
it's like
raid level. Like the
Yeah.
it's raid.
It is
literally.
11 million HP, which is a raid boss.
Literally.
buddy
6
of mine
million
went
is a
in
dungeon.
He went in on the glitch weapons, on the funny guns, and he's like, I don't have time to put 11 phases in a solo run to beat the boss. I don't. And then I'm taking
Right.
I'm taking time because I'm not being able to get this stuff done because I'm spending this many hours doing this dungeon.
I went in with two people
much.
who I went in with two people who knew the dungeons. I was the only one who had the funny guns. I didn't try and go for no solo or trials. I just did normal runs.
Mhm.
Okay, I took two other people with me, and it took us 55 minutes to do Ghost of the Deep 2 phase. I did 7.5 million damage on her. The other two guys did
Yeah, that's
1.5.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
And I was like, this would be worth my time
Yeah.
if we could do this every time. But no, when we got the normal stuff, it's like you got three hardcore Destiny players that do the hard stuff constantly, and it's still taking us 4 phases.
Mm-hmm.
It still takes that long just to beat it, man. It's so the boss, and then the boss hurts so hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you
It
can't
feels
do
like a
anything.
raid.
You literally have to stick in one spot. No warlock, you're screwed.
Like I made a
Mhm.
comment.
Yeah,
So
literally.
I took chaos through, and I said, you can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you if you have Legend of Acrius for Ekthar or Lament, let's go that
Mhm.
route.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But when we get to the final boss, I'm going to be putting down Arc Buddies. Step in that immediately and run a risk runner. Because you got to have something to chain stuff because it's just constant.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay. And I did my solo run and I was happy with it one time, but it was easier for me to do the solo run than to take two people through that have never done it before because
Mhm.
finding, like, if you don't know the layout of the runes in Ekthar, it can take a little bit. If you don't
Yeah.
know if you don't know that you're going up against light bears in the final boss, or one of your guys is not going to go in a room by himself, it makes it difficult. Luckily, I
It
have
does.
guys like Chaos that run with me, and once they get it, and we're pushing through. Like I think his second run, we missed one damage phase, and we cleared her in 4 phases. But
It's
there again,
it's
it's the
so
bullet spongy
much.
stuff. It's the bullet spongy stuff.
Yeah.
Where
Mhm.
which
On
tells
top
me
of
they're
having
not
a shield.
listening. Yeah. Because you got to get
And
that
that's
shield down
Being
quick.
spongy with a shield on.
Mhm.
Like it I like my Destiny to be hard, but like I want my time to feel rewarded.
There's a difference between being hard and being asinine.
Exactly. And that's exactly where it's at.
Because, well, the one damage phase we missed, we broke her shield and everybody got 2 shots off, and then it was over.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've had that happen
So
before.
that's
It's
like
terrible.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you miss your shot to get that shield off quick,
You're done.
mm-hmm.
Literally. Like you gotta
Day
gotta
one
go back.
Day one Crota on near you, like that we had so many times I was like, every single one of my rockets missed. We're screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And even when we run Crota, and I'm glad that they made the right choice when it came to retooling Crota. That was the right choice. The whole
Mhm.
raid was really good. It
Yes.
feels like a raid now. It really does feel like a raid now, and I'm glad that they did that.
Mhm.
Yes,
Gave him strength.
absolutely.
And Crota is just crazy when you try to pop that bubble in that damage phase, he will destroy your
Mhm.
whales and everything else in there. It's like, yo, this guy is crazy.
We had constant on my day one team. We had one Titan, and she was doing Thunder Crash, and then we had like two Warlocks. Yeah, we had like 2 or 3 Warlocks, and
Mhm.
they were running well, and it was like constant drop, drop, drop because after 2 hits, it's gone.
Mhm.
I was like, this is
It's
insane.
crazy.
We didn't even finish the first one. Like 10 minutes after the contest mode was over, we finished because we were like, this is crazy.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. It's just like I love it because it's hard. I
Yeah.
love it because
Mhm.
it's hard and it's not easy. They didn't make it where they just gave it to you, and
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what I really liked about that. And that goes to the testament of what we're going to get because they did say this was just the test. This was just a
Mhm.
beta to see
Mm-hmm.
how hard can we scale the final shape rate, and they did a really good job with making like the world's first. Man, everybody was having a debate about that. And I was like, man, we haven't seen a debate like that since Last Wish came out.
Mhm.
Of
Mm-hmm.
people talking about how hard it is and the different things like that. And I was like, I'm glad that we're finally back to these type of conversations because this is when you're in your raid element. This is when budget's in their raid
Mhm.
element, where they're putting
I
out something hard.
my team, like a good chunk of them, were disappointed we didn't even finish the first run of the contest mode. But I was like, look, this is how hard it was. The numbers are out.
Mhm.
We were 6 of 78,000 people to finish Year U, and there were 535,000 people that attempted the raid.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
we did pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
would say that anybody that's a Destiny player more than just getting started, like
Mm-hmm.
whether you like hard stuff in the game or you just like strikes and regular nightfalls and stuff, you needed to be a part of a day one
You
just
need
for
to.
the
Mm-hmm.
there again. It's just the experience.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
this.
I
A
agree.
lot of my every single day one team I've had. My very first day one was Deepstone Crypt, and I've done
Mhm.
every single one since then. And
Mm-hmm.
every single time, I mean, I was the new guy in my Deepstone Crypt team, and then every team I've had after that had people that were never done day one. And afterwards, like that was exhausting, but like it was an experience.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're being watched, man. We're a team in the race. It's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yep.
Yep. It really is, and it shows you even even blueberries who's never done it ever, who's finally get it like the young guardians come out and they finally doing it for the first time.
Hmm.
Even
Yep.
with them, they're learning a lot of discipline as a guardian when you're going into something that you've never got a chance to experience because you never did D1, and
Mhm.
you're seeing this again and seeing the level of intensity. Because the thing about Crota is the fact, and even all the D1 raids that they brought back so far is they're not like your D2 raids. Everybody has to do something,
Mhm.
and everybody
Hmm.
has to pay attention. Because if you one person mess up, it's over. And that's the thing. That's the great thing about the D1 raids and them reprising them, bringing them back is they giving that intensity so that way for new players and new guardians out there who's testing their metal against it, they're coming into it knowing, okay, I'm gonna have to put my A game on. I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to do the best that I can and
You
learn.
have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You have
You
to.
have to. You have to. Like we were doing I made a joke when we were doing like just practice raids. A few weeks out from the day one Crota race. We did a regular Vow run to start for the day, and one of the heads of the team, he was like, "You're going to do a job while we're going through here, you're going to do a job you've never done before. And I was like, cool, I get to be ad clear.
Right. Right.
That's great.
But it was like, what have you never done? And they're like, it's like we're on, the second encounter, and they're like, I've never done the symbols in the back room. And it's like, well, guess what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Doing it today, buddy.
And then we did a Master King's Fall. We got like halfway through it, but God, that one was rough for me because I made Hunter, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna go do the plate, and I kept getting my ass kicked. I was like, come on, man.
Why do I got to do the
I was like,
plate,
I got
bro?
nut. They're like, are you having trouble over there? And I'm like, I'm a hunter. I cannot protect myself.
I can only last for so long.
I'm like, if I run, we wipe. If I don't, I die.
They say,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta choose which one I'm gonna do.
But we were starting to get because we had like 2 people who had never done a day 1 raid race before, and it was like, we got to start getting you out of your comfort zone now, because you're going to be when we jump in.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to lose your mind like on the first encounter. I promise.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Unless you're someone like the other 4 of us who've done several day 1s, and we raid all the time. With if we got enough people. My raid runs have been a little lacking lately, but I understand. But for us, it's like it's like you're. This isn't just your normal go, and like we go into raids trying to learn every job possible just so we can teach people, and you're just gonna be out of your comfort zone. What do you usually do? Ad clear? Yeah, not today.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna do ad clear, and they're looking at you like,
no,
I can't do it.
not today.
Like I said, I was. You're gonna do something you'd never done before. Cool. I get to be ad clear.
Nuh-uh, buddy. You're gonna do everything this time.
Yeah.
And I do like that though, because man, you already know. All of you guys already know they're gonna scale. We don't know what we're up against when it comes to the final shape raid. We really don't. That's gonna be something.
I think it's gonna hit hard.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna hit hard because we don't know what's we don't. I mean, we don't. Besides, we know episodes are happening, and we kind of know the themes just because of the artwork.
Yeah,
and that's gonna change stuff because are we still gonna be going raid dungeon, or what's going on? I think they're gonna bring it home with the final raid, with the final shape raid race. They're gonna be hitting it hard. I think it's gonna be hard as hell.
I've made the comment before that they would never bring back anything like Last Wish because that was legit difficult. It's still difficult even to teach to some people.
Oh yeah,
like teaching Shuro-Chi. Okay, there's puzzles, but it's a race against time.
It's manageable. Yeah,
it's a puzzle. It's a race against time, but it's doable. We just got to get the coordination going. And I'm a cohesion guy. I like doing stuff with the same people because you build that trust. That hey, hey, I'm down over here. You got me, and you know where that person's going to be for you. But I also said that if they bring something back that is on the level of a Last Wish style day 1, it's going to be right here. It's going to be the final shape. It's going to hit.
Yeah.
And it's going to put you, it's going to tax you. It's not going to be Root of Nightmares where you got 2 guys running around doing all the mechanics. It's going to be a full force team doing everything possible.
Yeah.
When I did my Vow Day 1, we had to grab a guy like last minute, and it was a buddy of one of my buddies, and like the dude just would not talk.
Oh my god.
And I was like, bro, this is day 1. Like, you got to communicate. Get out of your comfort zone. You have to talk. He would die, and he wouldn't even tell us he was dead. And we're like, why is there a timer? Oh, shit, he dead. And we're like, why didn't you say anything? And he's just like, my bad. And we're like, no.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We almost had it.
We were doing good until somebody noticed there was 5 seconds on the clock.
that the insta panic starts to set in. It's like, no, please. just like the funniest thing, especially when it comes to Crota, we're running Crota, is like you know when you doing the first part and somebody has the challenge and their mic accidentally mutes and it's like, hey, what's your timer? What's your
That's when it's just
They
like
end up
rip it from
dying.
them and keep getting it because they're gonna fall over.
He muted his mic. Oh no, here we go. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to. Even though, guys, we definitely went into a Destiny little spiel podcast. You know, we're sorry about that. We're gonna save the rest of that for the Destiny day. But
Yep.
yeah. Especially if you guys are definitely down to do Destiny day for sure. We definitely, I definitely gotta get y'all on for that.
Oh,
That
for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be some great discussions. And I know Ark, I know you listening out there, probably at work. It's like, oh man, I wish I could be here. Salute to you, Ark Storm, man. But I can't. I'm looking forward to everything that Destiny's gonna be doing, wrapping everything up, the story, and I'm looking forward to the new players in the field, like your Hell Divers 2. If anybody saw that, that was pretty
Mhm.
good. That looks really good. That's another one that you got to keep an eye on. Of course, First Descendant is making its self known as
It's
like, hey, we're the new flavor, but we got all the old flavors with us. Come join.
hmm
You know,
I
great
definitely
start.
see it as being a good casual game for me
Yeah.
to play,
Mhm.
especially on Destiny breaks.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you, man. I'm definitely with you. It's one of those games where, okay, I can break away from Destiny and I can play this, have a good time. I don't have to rush anything. I can go at my own pace. See, Destiny, you have to stay on it because you miss a week. Oh man, you got to play catch up.
I got to do catch up just because the servers
Oh
the
yeah.
way they are
Yes.
right now. I got to do catch up. I got like 2-3 weeks of stories to get through,
Oh yeah, man. The service
and
is messed up, bro. I'm behind
I
too.
know everybody's jumping on them. Like I'm looking at my list of people on Twitch right
Hmm.
now, and a lot of them are on Destiny, and I'm like, nope, not until I got it confirmed. We are good.
Mhm.
Yeah, because right now they are not in a good spot with their service right now. They're trying to work it out. That's why they said. Then they said they're gonna delay that the hard mode for Crota until they can fix the craft
Yeah,
fully.
here it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, it happens. I mean, being an electronics IT guy
Mhm.
myself, like,
Mm-hmm.
I have people come into my chat. They're like, "How could this happen to Destiny?" Because I'm playing like Elder Scrolls Online because the servers are crapped out, and I'm like, guys, you gotta understand when they do a patch to fix something, it can create vulnerabilities, and obviously there
Mhm.
was one
Yeah,
that someone found, and they're still in there.
yeah, that's a fact. How does Elder Scrolls Online holding up? Because I when people was playing Elder Scrolls Online, I was playing DC Universe Online, and
Dude,
it
that's a good game too.
Mhm.
yes, absolutely,
That's a
absolutely.
damn
Yep.
good game. Now, Elder Scrolls Online is holding up, but they have also, just like Destiny is about to, they changed how they're approaching their year long.
Mhm.
This past year they released Necrom, which
Mm-hmm.
amazing, but it's on a cliffhanger right now. I'm like, dude, I
Uh,
need more because usually what their formula is they'll release a DLC that is 2 dungeons, and then that's supposed to give you the taste of the expansion coming up.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then they do the chapter, which is the expansion, and then they do another DLC with 2 dungeons, and then they'll do a DLC that has a new area. Well, they completely changed that this year because they're like, it got stale, and it did. It did
Mm-hmm.
get stale. There are so many dungeons in that game. I cannot name them all.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they're moving. They stuck to their usual formula for half a year, and they changed the formula for the second half of the year. So they'll probably be announcing stuff coming. They'll probably be announcing expansion stuff in like February. Hopefully, I can get tickets again because when they announced Necrom, I was in the audience and it was cool as hell. But
Nice.
they did
Nice.
their two dungeons, which were very good, and then they did their chapter, awesome, but on a cliffhanger right now. I am itching to see what's next for it. And then they actually did like quality of life improvements for a quarter. They're like, we've been listening. You guys want this, this, and this, and we're gonna try and make this and this happen. This is a no-go. And then and now they just came out last week that they're putting in an endless dungeon.
Wow.
Completely endless dungeon. And so that one, I'm an Xbox player. That's going to be coming out in November for me. But like, you know, on PC, people are testing it out, and they're like, "This is cool." So I'm excited to see, you know, what the new formula is going to be completely, since only half of it was kind of new formula and the other half was the same old, same old. So I'm curious to see where they go, but I'm chomping at the bit to see what happens since they cut out the whole DLC area thing. It's like the story is not continued now. Like it's a year of man, what's going to happen next? When usually it's like you wait 6 months and then it's like, oh, we get to finish the story. But like it got stale. They'd been doing it since their Elsewhere chapter, which was also like 4 years ago.
Do you feel like, especially with Elder Scrolls being in the state that it's in, do you feel like, what's the expectation when it comes to the Elder Scrolls 6? What's the expectation here? Because we already know, like you was just stating, they just came out with the new expansion with the Elder Scrolls Online, and we're starting to hear a little bit of buzz around, you know, Elder Scrolls 6. What is going to be the expectation for the community? What are they going to want? You know,
really high because people are going to be expecting Skyrim.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
People are going to expect higher than Skyrim, and that is such a hard one to beat.
Yes, it is.
That's a hard one to beat. They will have to literally. I don't even know how they would be able to top that game. That game. That's why they still keep on bringing remasters and this and that.
How many remasters? How many re-releases have we had now?
3.
So like
that's crazy, man.
I had a friend of mine, because my ESO guild, when you said the endless dungeon, I'd forgotten about that, but I looked on the guild feed, and I've not seen some of these people play in 2 years in ESO, and now all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we're coming back. Are we still together?" Yeah, we're still together.
So Elsewhere, like when I started playing, like Morrowind, Somerset, Elsewhere, amazing. Greymoor was pretty good. It was quite a cliffhanger, or not a cliffhanger. It was a surprise at the end. But you're like running around Blackreach, and you're like, if you played Skyrim, you're like, oh yeah, this place sucks. I remember now. But you know, great. It was pretty good. And then they came out with Blackwood, and Blackwood was not good. And then they came out with High Isle, which looks gorgeous, but you figured out who the bad guy was within 2 missions.
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
Literally, you could figure out who the bad guy was in 2 missions. It was like, who wrote this? Like, for real, who wrote this? And you know, I went to the Necrom premiere here in Vegas, and they were like, you know, we've been listening, and like we're gonna hit it hard. You know, you guys, they straight up said you guys are gonna be stunned when you jump into Necrom, and they were not wrong. It was a complete change of pace after 2 expansions that were very lackluster. Like even the story in Blackwood, like it was interesting, but like I wasn't engaged. But in High Isle, it was a cool idea, because it was like, hey, you know, kind of like in The Witch Queen, you're this investigator and you're trying to figure out what's going on. But literally in 2 missions, like if you got a couple of brain cells, you can be like, he's the bad guy. I know it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was him, Your Honor. We know it was him.
Yeah. And guess what? It was exactly who I guessed it was, is who it was. I was like, okay, like a good idea went completely lackluster because it was just so easy to figure out. Damn.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I kind of hate, you know, when it comes to that. It's like, man, we could have had so much more when it comes to who wrote this. Like,
yeah, and they did. They really surprised everyone with Necrom. It was absolutely amazing, and it is on a cliffhanger right now. And each expansion they give a clue to where you're going next, and there's been a couple of clues, and one of them, one of the clues right now that is a theory is Winterhold from Skyrim.
Oh wow!
Mhm.
That's one of the theories right now, because one of the NPCs mentions Winterhold when you talk to them, and usually that's how you do it. It's some random person, like it happened in High Isle. You talk to some random NPC on some random side quest, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, now that this is all over with, I think it's time for me to head to Necrom to give some respect to my ancestors." And then we went to Necrom. Somebody talked to some random NPC, and they mentioned Winterhold, and it was like, that would be so damn cool. Bring it,
Right.
please.
Just go ahead and bring it, please.
Even though you've already brought a bunch of Skyrim zones, like the Skyrim map is so empty in that game right now. Like there is so much they can do with it. There's some zones they've completed, like High Rock and Valenwood and stuff like that, but like there's a lot to be open right now, because like Black Marsh is very open, even though they've done like they got one area from the base game, one from a DLC, and one from an expansion. Skyrim still got a lot of space open too, and if the next one's Winterhold, like the fan service is going to hit, because a lot of people, their first Elder Scrolls was Skyrim. You go onto the Skyrim Reddit, there's a lot of people that are still like, this is my first time playing the game. Any tips and hints? My first one was Morrowind. Like, so I've been playing for a while, and then Morrowind was an excellent game. It was a hell of a game for its time, and then Oblivion came out, and I mean, there's a lot of people who praise Oblivion. It didn't really hit my itch. I enjoyed the side quests. I thought the main story was a little off, and then Skyrim hit, and all of a sudden everybody's an Elder Scrolls fan.
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody's like, "Hey, we love this game." It's one of those things where, like, yeah, I am nervous for Elder Scrolls 6 for sure, because they're gonna have to hit the ground running. It's been so long since we've had a mainline Elder Scrolls game come out in a while, and they're gonna have to hit hard.
Bethesda likes to work on one game at a time,
but I think they know what they're looking at. I think they know that they've got to hit this out of the park right from day one. And I think that understanding that, Bethesda usually knows going in, hey, the community wants this to succeed. They want this to be out of this world. So if we have to delay it a little bit to make sure we hit the ground with the right notes, let's do it. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Like with Starfield, like I said, Bethesda kind of likes to work on one game at a time, but it does work. Do I have some things about Starfield that I wish were in there, or have I found a couple of things I don't like? Yeah, of course. It's a Bethesda game. You're going to find stuff like that all the time. But overall, is it an amazing game? Yes. Do I wish they wouldn't take all your stuff if you did an 8-game plus? Do I wish there was actual weapon crafting, not just weapon mod crafting? Yeah, I would love that stuff to be in there, and I noticed that right away. But overall, is it a good story? Is there a lot of cool exploration? Is there a lot of customization with other things? So absolutely, it's all there.
And seeing what they've been doing with your Starfields, and being able to really tap into the next gen and engines and everything that they're utilizing now, I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 could be really good. They have that chance. They do have that chance now to say, hey, look, we're going to bring the fire. We're bringing our A game. We've been working on this game, for a while, and we really want to make sure it's really utilizing the next gen. I mean, just think about the fights. The fights could be really crazy.
Yeah. I think as long as they take stuff that people are saying like about Starfield, because literally Starfield is Skyrim in space. Good God, the Starborn powers are the exact same thing as the Dragonborn shouts in Skyrim. Literally, just different names. It's literally Skyrim in space, and I think if they take a lot of the critiques that people have about Starfield right now, and they kind of use that information to add stuff or keep an eye out for things in Elder Scrolls 6, it can definitely hit it out of the park.
Oh yeah. I definitely agree with you on that one for sure. I definitely agree. You guys making some really solid topics, discussions on this because I always wanted to bring that topic to everybody to see what people think about that because we do know it's going to be an anticipated game. Seeing how
Mm-hmm.
the success of Starfield, how good it is, and how well it's received, everybody's already raising their eyebrows on. Hey, we know Elder Scrolls 6 is the next in line. We hope
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to be successful,
And
based off of
even with the FTC stuff, like I mean,
yeah,
it's got a bunch of dates, but we'll see.
But how
right.
many
And
times
speaking
have
of
we seen
FTC,
listings like leaks from other parts of the world where it's like, okay, we saw this listing pop up in the PlayStation Store in Australia,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yep,
it's a placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
it literally is.
Like
Yeah.
not everything you see is fact. They've got to have a placeholder out there so they know they've got their spot available.
I mean,
Exactly.
what did the Xbox FTC thing say? It said like Elder Scrolls 6 2026. Like, we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's what they're saying, but they could. I mean, Starfield was supposed to come out in 2022. Here we are in 2023. It's finally
That's
out.
Yep.
correct. Yep. So it's just like I feel like everyone's getting their hopes up
Mm-hmm.
too fast. It's like calm down. We don't know, what's gonna happen during that time.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like you
I
said.
can't wait.
It's like you said. Placeholder. It's a
Yeah.
placeholder right now. We need a date. Sure, 2026. Why not?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
How many times are we watching games get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back these days?
And I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
As long
Yep.
as crap's not coming out, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
Keep pushing.
Exactly. Just like the Indiana Jones game, it's gonna be out there, a while. I'm fine with it. As long as Xbox has learned from Redfall, as long as they learn from that mistake, and they're like, hey, look, we're just gonna go ahead and really just start cooking these games out, making sure they're at the top because we want to continue to win. How
I
we
found
do
it
that?
funny
We
seeing
gotta do it.
I found it funny seeing all like on Twitter because people are like, stop with the game console war. And it was like an email came out that Phil Spencer was like, man, I could only find a PS5 Horizon Zero Dawn version and I had to pay an extra $50. It's like, bro, see, the head of Xbox has a PS5. Y'all need to chill out.
Well, I've told you guys this before. I thought that Phil Spencer made the comment about we can't catch Sony in the console war because we're not sold in
Yeah.
every region. We can't get
Right,
the same
right.
exclusives, but what we can do is make the best games that we can possibly put out. And I give the man credit. When Redfall came out, it didn't hit expectations, but what did he say?
Nope.
His comment was, we failed you. I failed you.
We
did not put our Q&A team to the best of their ability to make sure this game was ready to release. I take that as
Absolutely.
personal because I'm the one that directs these guys on what to do.
Yeah.
So anytime, I mean, in the military, in the regular job world, working for big companies, little companies, doesn't matter. When your owner, when your CEO comes out and said, I failed you, that's a huge note.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't, in this day and age, people don't do that.
Nope.
That's the fact, yeah.
And for him to come out and say, that's my fault for not directing our teams better.
That goes
That's
to show you the
huge.
integrity the guy has.
Yep.
I've told my guys that I supervise at my 9 to 5. You know, I'm like, if you guys mess up, it is my fault because like I should have made sure all the boxes were checked and I didn't.
As a leader, I used to always like everybody says go out there and show, like, don't tell somebody to do something you're not going to do yourself. Well,
Exactly.
if my team
I'm all
fails,
about that.
if my team fails at their job, did I put them in a position for success? Probably
Mhm.
not.
Exactly. I'm the same way. I love to reflect, and when I used to lead my team, I used to say, "Hey, look, we fail, it's on me."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But it's a
I didn't
big
put.
one to see like
Yes.
a CEO to
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
big.
It's like, whoa,
He
Yep.
was frustrated at himself.
Phil Spencer saying he failed? That's something.
To see anybody
Yeah.
running a company as large as like Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo come out and make that comment. Because
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all, I thought he messed up when he said we failed the console war, but he didn't. In retrospect, he's speaking the truth because
Mhm.
Microsoft is
Yeah,
Xboxes are not sold everywhere in the world.
they're
I've
not.
lived overseas. You know
Yep.
what you find?
Yep.
PlayStations.
Yep.
And
You find
PlayStation and
There.
PlayStations.
Nintendo,
Yep. They're
Yep.
there.
but not
That's a
Xbox.
fact.
So it's hard to compete. And when you break it down, it's like, okay, US sales or European sales. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't go to Asia and say, hey, where's the Xbox? Well, you can't get them.
Yeah.
You better go.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna cost you $700 just to ship it over.
Yep.
You know.
Mhm.
Walmart says, I think people are getting excited because next year is the 30th anniversary of the creation of the series. That is a fact. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
is. We're reaching
Mhm.
30 years of the series, man, and that's something that everyone is getting their hopes up. Please, people, calm down. Please, we don't know yet. I'm excited just as much as you are, but let's wait and see what they're gonna show, man. We're getting close to 2026, so it's like just
Yeah.
calm down. They announced something in 25. Hey, it's coming out in 27. We don't know. We don't know where they are yet.
A lot of
We
game
could go
stories that are coming out right now, a lot of it is speculation.
Mm-hmm.
yes. They don't
They're
know.
finding something. They're finding speculation to write about.
And I think the overhype
Literally.
hurts because, like I said,
Yeah.
I was a shooter guy at first. I liked COD, I liked Battlefield. But
Mm-hmm.
I find, and I think I've said this before, and you might have seen it on Twitter or even heard it on my streams, pre-ordering games. So I've never seen a game go from alpha to beta to release and get worse every single time until Battlefield 2042. But they also, you can speak to this better because they
Mm-hmm.
started dropping people off the team at each step of the way.
Yeah,
So when you get to
they did.
release, 70% of the team was pulled away from Battlefield.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But
I pre-ordered that Marvel game. The one that you could play with other people, and I
Oh, the
sunk about 2
Avengers.
hours into it. Yeah, I sunk like 2
Mhm.
hours. I sunk like 2 hours into it, and I pre-ordered.
yep,
I haven't pre-ordered a game since.
right,
Yeah, it's just like Crystal Dynamics.
Except
You know.
except Destiny. Except Destiny.
right.
That's
Yeah.
like the only thing I've pre-ordered.
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah.
they're. But I know that they're going to deliver because we're all experienced with them at this
Yeah.
point. And like that Marvel Avengers one, like I had high hopes and it just sunk.
And I think that hurts like games that are coming, not Spider-Man 2 because that's a proven winner, but when you talk about like
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, it looks
Mhm.
good,
Whoa.
but then in the back of your mind, it's
just
like, is it another Avengers?
Right.
Like, I enjoyed Guardians of the
another-
Galaxy. I did.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But
That was really
you
good.
still have that perception. It's like, oh,
Here comes
not
another Gotham Knights. Let's go.
not many games are Call of Duty that can get so much criticism and hope
Yeah.
and so much hate throughout the year, and then all of a sudden it hits September, October, we get the beta, then the release, and it's like, oh, it's the best-selling game of the year. Not many
Mhm.
games
'Cause
carry
you
that
know.
much hate through to the next iteration and still get that many people
Right,
getting
right.
the
Yeah.
game.
That's true. People still love jumping in on it. Every time a new one they show a trailer, people are already ready. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy how they do it. Every time they drop a new trailer for a new Call of Duty, people are already ready for the next one. You know.
Yeah.
It never fails. They have that community and that power to do that and still be successful, even though people are gonna criticize what they're doing in the game, how it's going this time.
It,
It's still
it's like
gonna
that
make
joke.
money.
It's like that joke about us Destiny players. It's like I hate this game, but you play it every day. That's not the point.
Right.
That's not the point. You log in every day.
So one of
Where's the hate at?
one of the guys when I came back to Destiny, because in Destiny 1 I had in real life friends that kicked me from their clan, so I took a break. When I came back, one of the
Mhm.
guys made the comment, Destiny's like an old girlfriend. You
I've
you
heard that
always
one.
keep coming back. You always keep coming back. It keeps dragging you back
Yeah.
in. And I was like, is that really true? And then I took a little break and I'm right back in it. And that statement popped in my head and I'm like, oh my God, Destiny's my girlfriend. My new
We're back.
girlfriend.
We're back in love again.
It's the game
It has
everybody
its
loves
up
to
and
hate.
it has its
Everybody loves
ups and downs. Like, of course I had the annual pass for Witch Queen, and then the only season I played was Seraph.
Okay.
I was like, the rest has cool like aesthetics, but like I'm not down for the gameplay, and like I
You was
just took
just
a
like,
break from
no.
Destiny that whole time. And then Seraph came out, and I was like, that feels dope, and even the gameplay was cool. And even when I started playing, my very first real season was Season of Dawn, and then Worthy came out, one of the worst seasons ever. Like I was brand new to the game, and I still took a 3-month break from the game. Then Arrivals came out, and it was like, dope, this is great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. We're getting somewhere. This is
Mm-hmm.
nice. It's a nice
But
feeling.
then by the time Witch Queen came out, like I was already getting kind of burnt out on the game, and then we had Risen and Reaper, and I was like, I mean,
Mhm.
Reaper's cool, but like I'm tired of running the same pattern like 20 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm tired. I didn't run this too long. Yeah, and it's one of those things, man. It's just
Plunder
like
had
we're not
Plunder
really
had great
tired.
aesthetic. Plunder
Yeah,
had great aesthetic, and it was like I don't
absolutely.
want to keep doing I don't want to do catch crashes 50 times a day.
Right. I'm getting kind of tired of that. You know.
And then Seraph, it was like, okay, I only have to run this like 3 times a day. I can live with this.
Everybody was upset about people was upset about Deep, but I thought Deep was very decent.
I thought Deep.
I
I
liked
thought
it.
Deep was good. I mean, I
Mhm.
didn't go all the way to get the seal, but I thought it was a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I felt so too.
I mean, I took a
I love the
break.
water aesthetic.
Yes, I took a break in there, but like it was like, okay, I'm going to get through and make sure that I got all my weapons done. I got everything I need, and then
Hmm.
it came and hit
Mm-hmm.
time to do for the Wicked implement. And
Yeah,
I
that was
like
good.
difficulty in the game, and like everybody said, oh, they started Neomuna and they did this and this and this, and then like
Hmm.
they made it hard, then they made it easy, and they made it hard, and then they made it easy, and it's like, okay, so deep dives are fun, but now you're going to add this side piece to go for the exotic, and it made your fire team actually play as a fire team. It's not one dude in there just
Yeah, it
nuking
did.
everything. You had to actually go in and
Mm-hmm.
play as a team.
Hmm.
Yep.
The same thing with getting to tier 7s. I mean, on deep dives, you had to coordinate and play as a
You
team
have
because
to.
Mm-hmm.
you weren't carrying anybody. I'm against
Nope.
carries, and because I want to
Hmm.
teach you the mechanic and have you teach it to your
Yep.
community. That way, we build the
Mm-hmm.
community. But
That's how you build them.
if you didn't play as a team, you weren't getting past that.
Yeah,
Gone are the days of the 0-hour whisper carries.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Gone are those days. Like you got to work together.
Yep.
You had to, man.
And
You had to.
that was the start of my stream career. Is I ran 0-hour and whisper carries all night,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
like those days are gone. It's like, no, I have to teach you this. I know how to do it. You're going to learn it. Otherwise, we're not going to get this done in a good amount of time.
Yep. Especially like the whisper, because I got mine and I hadn't put I put time into Destiny, but I hadn't done anything like that.
Mhm.
And a
Mm-hmm.
guy hit me up and he's like, hey, jump in. I'm doing carries for the whisper. And I'm like, okay, what do you need me to do? He's like, stand there, practice on making the jumps. By the time you get halfway or all the way there, I've got it done for you. And you're not doing that anymore.
No. You
I
don't
I
have
would
that.
I would do my 0-hour carries, and I would straight up. I'm like, do you want to learn the puzzle, or like
Do you
what
want-
do you want? And they're, but I would have people. They're like, oh, I'll be able to keep up with you, and I'm like, you sure?
Right.
Mhm.
Are you positive you're gonna keep up with me? They're like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. And I was at the boss, and they weren't even halfway.
You know how that is.
Right.
man. You know how that is.
They're like, I had one guy. He got to the boss room right when I killed the boss in 0 hour with 5 seconds to spare.
But it's crazy.
I remember those days.
That's nuts. Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to that mission coming back in the rotator.
Coming back, you know how many people are already gonna have forgotten how to do it.
I think I still remember Trevor
But
Panels.
once you get
I
in
think I
there,
still
it'll
remember.
fall into place.
Yeah.
Oh, Trevor Panels is easy. You just do left, right. I still remember it. Because you would do left, and then you would go around and do left, and then you would jump across the middle. He would be gone, and you would do right, and then you could hit the exit, and he was way far away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still remember how to do it, but you know how many people, especially since there's so many new people, and when Final Shape comes out, there's going to be a ton of new people. They're going to be like, what? I bet I could solo this, bro. You have no idea.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
Wait till you meet Trevor.
Trevor's
Tell him
gonna
I said
eat
hi.
you alive.
Tell Trevor I said hi. Hey, can you help me? Yes.
Let me add you to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, literally, Trevor is brutal. He's unforgiving. He will kill you quickly with no hesitation.
Ain't nobody got their I Survived Trevor t-shirt, okay?
Right.
Oh, right. You're right about that. And that's gonna be interesting. You know. But I'm saying, man, it's just it's great that like we're seeing a lot of different. Like I said, the industry is changing. A lot of things is changing.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the cadence is different now because now everyone's like, okay, we have got to get a win, guys. We got to get a win. How can we do this? What can we do?
Industry seems to evolve every like 10 years.
Yeah, it does.
I'd swear it changes so much every 10 years.
Yeah. But I think it has
does.
to. The expectations are different.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always it's higher expectations, especially as technology gets better. Like, absolutely, even the way things get marketed. Like, I remember the first time I saw a gambling crate. It was in Star Wars: The Old Republic after EA took it over. After like what? It was like 6 months after it released. EA took over. That was the first time I ever saw a gambling crate. You can't get to a game that doesn't have that anymore.
Nope. We really don't. Who has that? Nobody have that. You know. And it was cool how they implemented that. You don't see that anymore.
Right.
You know,
No.
okay, we're gonna get rid of that. I mean, just look.
I mean, they have to now.
Yeah, they have to. They can't do that anymore. And even look at games like Fortnite. They changed their cadence. You remember how we all remember how it used to be when it first came out. You know,
Sweaty as hell.
You know, yeah. They changed so much about the game. It's not even the same like it used to be. They knew they needed to make a move.
The best thing they did was no builds because that brought in a whole different aspect of player and even guys that had left and came back because they're like, man, now we don't have to build battle for 10 minutes just to get a kill. But I'm curious to see what happens now because the lead man, the guy that put out all the hints and stuff on like what's going on in Fortnite, Donald Mustard is gone. He's left Epic, so he said he's left it in good hands, and I'm sure the team is ready to charge forward. But it's hard losing a guy that has basically built the game around him. Like he's the guy that it really hypes it up and keeps the thing driving.
That's true.
I mean, one certain formula, I mean, it only lasts for so long. Like, you
That's
know,
true.
like we've been talking about, ESO's already changed their formula. Destiny 2 is about to change their formula. It only lasts for so long.
Yep.
Leadership changes hands and
Mhm.
stuff changes, you know.
That
So
10-year marker. It's always that
Yeah.
10-year marker. Okay, I mean, like I said, we look back at Nintendo. They're changing a lot of their
Mhm.
things. They're changing up the tune.
Well,
They know now, and especially think about it. That leak, the leak of what's going to be happening with the hardware on
Mhm.
Switch 2. They're about to change the game out here, man.
well, when does
People was
Nintendo
laughing. It's wrong.
honestly not change the game? They went from having standard
Yeah.
consoles and they brought out the Wii, and then you
Mhm.
had motion controls.
Mhm.
Then they turned around
Yep.
and put out the Wii U with the gamepad. Then
Yep.
now we're looking at the Switch. So what did Sony just talk about as state of play? They're coming with the Portal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
That's
so
true.
like you can't say that like even back like a while ago, over a year ago, there was the release that Sony had applied for a patent for this handheld console, and everybody's like,
Yep.
"Oh, it's just a Switch." But everybody like Sony changes the game, and I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people give them the credit for like being forethinking enough to be like this. Whoever thought that the Wii would work, and then all of a sudden it's the hottest thing going.
Yeah. That's true.
You like playing games at home? Cool. Do you want to take it with you in case you can't be home? Here you go.
Exactly.
What?
Switch. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Very innovative. They're always thinking of something different to change the game up and to see and test it out. And the Switch was their byproduct, really. It really
Yeah.
showed what they're capable of doing. And if this next Switch 2 is as powerful as they're saying, it's gonna be a juggernaut, man. It's gonna be crazy and game changing. And just to imagine the games that they're gonna be bringing out. They already make bangers as it is, but
I'm
just
wondering
imagine
if
with the power, it's
Nintendo.
gonna be crazy.
I'm wondering if Nintendo's going to keep with the same formula as the Switch from now on, just kind of like the PlayStation and Xbox kind of have over the years. You know, Nintendo systems have always changed, but the Switch has been
Yep.
such a success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they just going to stick with that now because it works?
I think so. I think so. They're gonna add something special to it. You know,
Mhm.
I think they're gonna stick with the model because it works and it's
Mhm.
innovative and people like it. But they also gonna add something new to it to make it
Absolutely.
unique
Well, look at the
than
peripherals for the
anything else.
Switch. You can go out and you can get a 64 controller, an SNES
Mhm.
controller. So, like, I'll be honest, I used to love playing fighting games on the Sega gamepad because it was a
Mhm.
6 button. So,
Yep.
who's to say we don't get a fighting game and they drop that Sega controller back on us?
Mhm.
That's a possibility. There's a high possibility for that.
Back
No
to the
telling.
quarter arcades.
I mean, I look at it like
bring it back.
I heard people when the Switch first dropped it, oh, it's just going to fail just the same way Sony puts out like the
Not
Vita and
Nintendo.
stuff. And I'm
No
like,
way.
wait a second, you're confused because there's a difference between Sony handhelds and Nintendo handhelds.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Nintendo doesn't put out something that they don't plan to carry the long haul with.
Yep.
When I went to Iraq, I took my PSP and my Nintendo 3DS with me. Guess what I was on most of the time? My
3DS.
Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. That's a fact.
When you think handheld, you think Nintendo,
Mhm.
Yeah.
not
literally.
Sony.
You're interested in I get to play some Nintendo games already. I'm hyped.
Mhm.
You know.
Nobody's playing their PlayStation games on the plane. You're playing with your Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go
That's
on
a fact.
vacation, and the first thing my boy said was, "Are we taking the Switch?" Well, of course.
Of course we
Yeah.
are.
I'm getting my playtime in. Yeah.
That's right. I got a backlog of Switch games that I be playing, man. Especially when you're traveling, it's like, yo, yeah, I'm good. You know, you can take all that with you.
one of the boys came
That's
home
the
the
cool
other
thing
day
about
and
it.
they said a kid on the bus brought out a Switch Lite on the bus on the way
Mm-hmm.
home from school. What's
Oh,
that? Like the most they stay on the bus is like 20 minutes here at the very most. So the
You
kid's
can get
got
some
his
good
Switch
gaming in on
Lite
that.
and he's gaming on the bus on the way home.
that's just a younger version of
Mm-hmm.
us.
Oh,
Yeah,
every day.
literally. Yeah.
I can remember.
When we had our Game Boys and Game Boy Advances and all that stuff
You're
back in the
you're
day.
always on a you're always on a game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days. Those days was fun.
For me,
You
Once
know,
I
I'm
get
telling my
once I
age,
get home from work and the kids are in bed,
it's game
it's
on.
game time.
facts.
I can remember it started earlier for me, but without games, like I'm a sports guy. I like college sports, and being a North Carolina guy,
Oh yeah.
Tobacco Road. If you're not watching the NCAA tournament, then
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing with your life if you're on Tobacco Road? So, like, I would literally take my little Watchmen, if you remember those. I would take it
Oh
to
yeah.
school,
Oh yeah.
and I had teachers in high school say, "Look, from now on, during the tournament, we'll just give you what your work's going to be and stay home because all you're doing is watching your Watchmen watch the tournament games go by.
Right.
Now it's just improved
I
and we
had a
play
boss.
games."
I had a boss that
Hey.
was super surprised because like we would go out to do our physical training and sometimes we would just go shoot hoops and he was like, "Bro, I thought you said you were like a gamer and a tabletop gamer." And I'm like, "I am." And he was like, "Why are you so good at basketball and football?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is what I would do. I would go to baseball practice when I was a kid, get home, and then hop on the Xbox."
One,
That's
two,
funny.
together. I can
Yeah.
remember sitting in my dorm at East Carolina and UNC both playing Nintendo games. Like we'd have speed runs for Mario, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, we're at a great university. There's a nightlife. We're in our room playing Mario
We're in our
together.
room. That's the same way when I was playing Pokemon, you know, back in the day, just having a good time playing the Pokemon Reds and Yellows and then to the Ruby, Sapphires, and Emeralds just with the friends, all just chilling. You know, we could be on our porch just playing all together. Those was the days, man, for sure.
This boss of mine, he just didn't have an athletic bone in his body, and he was just like, "How are you good at all this stuff?" And I'm like, "Bro, this was my life when I was a kid.
Yep.
Literally.
The only difference now is I'm going to work instead of school. Like
That's
literally."
true. That's true. Yeah, good times for sure. Well, y'all, this wraps up the return show. And this has been a really good show, man. We've had a really good time. And we definitely got to do a part 2 to this because, you know, we still got so much to talk about. But what we always do at the last part is we always do a segment called The Floor is Yours and basically tell us what can they find you and what you got coming up. So first off, House, what's going on, man? How can everybody follow you and what you got coming up?
Basically the same thing as normal. It's GM season in Destiny. We got Master Crota's coming up. You can find me at House of Pirates on Twitch or Kick occasionally. It's kind of a toss up, but I've been doing First Descendants. There's a ton of games. Spider-Man 2 is coming up. I'm going to be hot on that. My wife has been trying to get me in Fall Guys, so you can watch me. I call it Fail Guys because
It's a fun
I'm too
game.
old to do the blinds to make some of those moves. She's like, "How are you so good at dungeons, but you can't play this game?" I was like, "This game requires coordination. Destiny's like muscle
It
memory
does.
at this point."
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
you had to get good in it. You had no choice. That's pretty good, man. Definitely you definitely go follow him, man. He is a solid guy for sure. And the House of Pirates, man. Great content creator. Very informational and great conversational as well, man. Definitely go follow you guys. He's a good guy. So, Darkheart, what you got going on? How can they follow you, my man?
Well, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Jareth @_Darkheart. That's where you find me. It's usually a lot of Destiny. You know, I like to help people out with hard content. I like to do raids. I like to do dungeons. I like to do GMs. I like to teach you to do it. Like, you know, like we were talking about carries. I don't do the carries. You're going to learn it. And big thing is like I help you gain the confidence to be able to do that stuff. And you know, it's a completely safe space, and we got all kinds of people. I play with people from all walks of life. I help people learn how to play with people with disabilities. And you know, it's not just Destiny. I do Elder Scrolls Online every once in a while. Sometimes Star Wars: The Old Republic. Sea of Thieves has got a bunch of changes coming out that I'm excited for. I'm going to be jumping back into that
Ooh.
I'm
soon.
gonna have to fire up the Xbox because I heard there's a PVE server coming.
Yep, Safer
Yes.
Seas.
That's gonna be dope.
But I am a huge knowledge base for like all these games that I've talked about. Like I answer a lot of questions about Destiny, about Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy 14, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like, you know, my head is full of information from those games. So if there's anything you ever want to know about any of them, feel free to drop by, ask me. If you need help with Destiny stuff, like drop by and tell me what you need. I'll try and get a crew together. If it's a weekend, it's a lot easier, but you know, I'll try.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. And definitely go and follow him, guys. He's a solid guy, solid content creator, man. You'll have a lot of fun with him. Very knowledgeable, and it is a good time. And of course, you can always find me on pcarlisle20 gmail.com. I am the awesome guy. If you want to send me some questions for next shows and what you think about the shows or anything, you can always find me on there. You can always find me on Twitter as well. Pcarla Gaming 2 on Twitter. You can always find me and Pcarla Gaming right here, where I do shows on Saturdays, and I'm gonna start doing more on Fridays for all things gaming. Kind of split up the days, and you always find me there, man. I'll be streaming. Of course, we're streaming First Descendant, and next week I'll definitely be streaming Sonic Frontiers: The Final Horizon expansion is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So look out for that. It's gonna be a blast. So definitely look out for the next upcoming streams that we got. And as always, you got to do it the Sonic way. We finally cleared this podcast. So thank you. We finally cleared, y'all. So I appreciate everybody for joining, man. It's been a great show, great ride, and we're gonna go ahead and raid out to my co-host, one of my co-hosts, Miss Jackalism. Have to go say hi and let her know that Last City Radio sent you. All right. And we're gonna do that in just a minute. And I appreciate all of you guys, man. You guys are phenomenal. And we'll see you next week because we still got some more either Destiny or all things gaming to talk about. So definitely tune in and we see you later. All right.